TacosandGeeks.com. Justin and Sean here. We're back with more reviews. And today, my friends, we are going to be reviewing the highly anticipated Reacher Season 3. And want to thank Prime Video for the screener. As always, here we give you a brief synopsis. So without further ado, my friends, here we go. Reacher goes undercover to probe a smuggling ring that is threatening the life of a DEA informant. So I'll have to say this. If you are a fan of season 1 and season 2, you are going to love season 3. And man, when I tell you what, I could not put this down. It's like literally, I rarely binge. I had to binge this because just the story that was integrated for this one. It's definitely more self-contained, I would say, compared to like season 2. And this one, it goes kind of, I would say, it will go back into the veins of season 1, where it's kind of the similar same location, but this one has a lot more depth to it, especially what Reacher is doing and how personal it is, and especially with episode 1. Is episode 1 does a huge job of really setting the stage of what Reacher is going to do. And obviously no spoilers, but what Reacher is going against is so personal, and you get to see a lot more characterization on who Reacher is, a little bit even more of his backstory. And like I said, if you're used to his quips, if you're used to his intelligence, and the action in this particular episode is pretty good as well, you're in for a wild ride this entire season. And I'll have to say, even the villain, our main villain in this one, definitely is a very personal and has some really high stakes in this. But I'm gonna pass it to Sean so he can give you his initial thoughts.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm a fan of Reacher since season 1, and one thing I'll say about Reacher is like, yeah, this man is a dick, bro. Like, he's funny as hell too. Like, I can't, like, the way he answers questions whenever somebody asks him something that's completely obvious. Um, like, this doesn't give anything away, but he's asked by a character. He was like, um, he looks at his gun. He goes, "It's empty," and he looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, that's because I shot all the bullets." And you just look at him like, "Yo, you're a dick, bro. You're an ass." Like, it's just funny. Um, One thing I will say about this is that, yes, like, what you do get in every season, as Justin touched on, you get a little bit more of his past every season that they show it. Like, depending on what the storyline is, they'll go back into his past to show you why he's reacting the way he does in this situation. One thing I do like about episode 1 that everybody's gonna love is that if you've watched the first 2 seasons, you're gonna know something's up after the first 5 minutes. I sat there with like my eyebrow cocked up, and I look over at Justin like, the fuck is Reacher doing, bro? Like, this isn't, like, this man is calculating, and then it dawns on you, especially if you watch any of the previews, like, what's up, and like, Justin was absolutely right. Like, every once you start watching it, you're gonna binge it, and I don't know if Prime is going to release every episode. I mean, I know in certain shows they'll release the entire series. But this one, if they don't, I'm gonna tell you, like, you're gonna be waiting just to see what the next episode is. I mean, it's just vintage Reacher. Like, the first season, I think it's probably the best out of all of them. The third season definitely comes in. I don't want to. I have to rank them right now first, third, second.
Yeah.
But this season is just off the hook. I know, like, I was a big fan of season 2 because you got to meet a lot of his crew, a lot of people he built relationships with. But this season, it's back to being all about him, and I am thoroughly impressed that this series has stuck to its roots, because like, with a lot of series, like, by the time you get to the third season, it's kind of like lost what it had maybe in the first season, and you start to see it kind of loses something in the second season. No, not this.
No.
This is continuously giving you something and giving you a new story. So shout out to the writers and everybody putting everything together. I'm a fan of Reacher, and this series has kept me a fan. Season 3 has kept me a fan of this series. So pass it back to Justin. Let him get his thoughts in.
And what also happens in this season is, and it's not just Reacher. It's you also have DEA agent Duffy, who also has a stake in what is going on in this particular issue that's going on with what Reacher is trying to stop. And both of them have a personal stake in this. For Reacher, something is very, very personal because it's unfinished business for him. It's more of theme of vengeance for Reacher in this particular one. And can he really kind of see, I'm not trying to spoil the theme, but yeah, I would say I will touch on vengeance. It has to do with vengeance, and I'll just leave it at that. But I have to say,
I feel like every season is vengeance.
Yeah, well, this one you'll say is definitely going to be extreme vengeance because of what happens. But I gotta say, Alan Richardson, like, he is just like, I can't see anyone else in this particular role. Like, he is the embodiment. I've never read a Reacher book, but from my friends that have read the books, they said, and watched the show, they said, this guy is like how Connery and Craig was for Bond. Like, he is just like how the book depicts him. And he just does an amazing job just carrying this series. And I'll have to say, action-wise, the action, I will say, is it's good. But this one is more of really a more character-driven, trying to unravel the plot. It's more of a real espionage type of thriller, this one, because there's so many moving pieces. And as each episode, it's only 8 episodes, but each episode is unraveling more and more things are being revealed. And when you get to the big reveal and when you get to the stakes and the high stakes, then it's just guns blazing, and Reacher has to figure out how to get a way out. He has to figure out how to defeat the guys and things like that. And it's just really brilliantly executed, folks. And I can't praise it enough. Like, this is 3 seasons. I will have to say home run base. I would say season 1, home run. I would say season 2 was more of a double for my baseball fans. I say season 3 is a home run hit here. They did a really good job. And I liked a little bit more. I think Reacher's at its best when it's much more of a very, very personal story. When, like Sean said, out for vengeance. But this one, when you watched it, when you see the backstory, you're gonna be like, yeah, I see why he's a little pissed off about this one. But yeah, overall, folks, love this one. I'm going to give this as you know, when we do streaming services, is either watch it now, add to your queue later if you don't have time, or skip it. Watch this now when it comes out February 20th.
And like, to piggyback off of Justin, definitely something you should watch now if by any chance you've never watched any of Reachers. Because I know some people, when I do talk about it, they're like, Reacher, Jack Reacher, the one with Tom Cruise? And I'm like, way different. Way different. It's funny that the Tom Cruise movies weren't bad, but I would take the series over the Tom Cruise movies because it feels like you're getting more out of it, you know, and it's a little more believable with his size and everything else that's going on with it. So I'm gonna say my review is watch it now. If you don't have a chance to watch it, if you've never watched season 1 and 2, go check it out right now. They're out. Trust me, they're a good watch, especially if you're on the train going home in the morning and coming home. Definitely watch it during your lunchtime, or if you like some of us to work from home, you can sit down, turn it on, watch it while you're in there. It's definitely a binge-worthy series. So, Justin, take us out.
All right, folks, that was our review for Reacher. But before we go, I just want to say also thank you to Prime Video, and also great thing about season 3 is, if you miss 1 and 2, the way the story is presented, you can start at season 3 and still get enough of the backstory that's gonna make you watch season 1 and 2. That's how great, that's how good the writing was.
They're all independent stories.
Yeah, so you don't really have to worry about things being too interconnected. But we want to thank you all for watching our review. If you like what we do here, and hopefully we earned your subscription, so please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell keeps us helping out with the algorithm. And for those folks who are going to be watching Reacher, comment below, let us know what you thought about it. And thank you for watching us here at otakusandgeeks.com. More stuff on the way, more reviews, more essential anime, UWL. Check out the playlist, folks. We do a lot here. We'll catch you on the next review. Later days.
Peace.